Good afternoon. This is Matthew Williams, voice interpreting. Today we're going to discuss the differences between the North and the South. Okay, we discussed the North a bit. What does that look like? Any ideas? You can check if you need to. So the North had farms, that's correct. Were they big farms though? Plantations? No, they were small farms. In the North area, they had small farms. What else? If you're not sure, you can check. And it was a little more harsher land. And there was more than 100,000 factories in the North. Yes, that's right. I agree to that. What else? There was a lot of progress. That's correct. I agree with that. We also discussed something else. The Erie Canal was there. That's right. What else did the North have? They had railroads. That's correct. What else? They had a lot of transportation. They also had steamboats. Yep, that's correct. And all of these items actually helped transport food and other items. What else did the North have? There was two things, right? It went from 2 to 245, right? The only two. They also had cities. That's right. Most of the bigger cities were located in the North. And then, of course, the big cities had factories and some smaller firms. There was also progress. That's right. One more. It's on page 416. Josh? Yes, immigrants. That's right. A lot of people were coming to the U.S. at that time. And where were they going? They were leaving their home and trying to come to a better area. So what happened was in Ireland, there wasn't a lot of food. There was a big lack of food and people were starving. They couldn't eat. And so they had decided to take the trip to the north of the United States. So we had discussed, right? We had discussed that. Now let's talk about the South. Let's see if you were paying attention. So explain a bit about what was going on in the South at the time. What did it look like? Cotton? Was there cotton, miss? Yes, cotton was an important plant that they grew on the plantations. That's correct. What else did they grow on the plantations? What else did they have on the plantations? Excuse me. They had slavery. Yep, that's right. You needed some good farmland in order to grow certain things, right? We had discussed this previously, right? What was the difference between the farms of the North and the South? The South had bigger farms. That's right. What were they called? They were called plantations? Yep, that's right. So the plantations, let me see if you remember. They had a type of a house where the slaves lived, right, miss? Yes, that's right. They also had food. So the plantations were similar to small towns like the North, right? And the slaves were able to get what they needed directly from the plantations. They could buy what they needed. So the slaves didn't have to go to another town. they could buy everything they needed on the plantations. And that was the lifestyle they had in the South. What else? The South, they were growing cotton. They grew 3/4 of the country's cotton. What other types of products did they grow, though? Anyone? The rice, exactly, that's right. What else? I missed that one. I would clarify. Sugar. Tobacco for cigarettes. And indigo that was used for dyeing materials. That was the lifestyle in the South. Now, previously, before the Civil War, the lifestyles of the North and South were very similar, right? But now in the South had a lot more plantations, but most importantly, that was related to the war. The South had slavery, which was a big difference between the North and the South. Another item was that several immigrants came here to work from other countries and went to the North. And then, of course, the South, they had plantations who were owned by Caucasian individuals that were very wealthy. That's a really big, important difference. Now we're going to look on page 445. So we're not going to take any note. 425. So on this page, you'll notice that the states are different colored, right? You have the states that are free and then the states that own slaves, right? So you have color coded with green and orange, right? So what your job is to identify which states were free, and were slave states. Okay, you're going to identify the slave states with orange and make sure you label them with the state name or the abbreviation, and then label the states that were slave owned, that owned slaves, and actually do the same. Okay,